Hello, and welcome to another YFA Pro Tip. My name is Dan Landerman, and today we're going to talk about how we can use the Yukon Feeder Automation System to send out an email to notify you or other people in your organization when YFA becomes active. One of the first things we need to look at is what data points are available for YFA to send out this message. One of the obvious data points is the binary input called FA active. This point transitions to high whenever the automation engine processes an event, but unfortunately also does it whenever it's in the starting state. So what can happen is if you make a change in YFA, need to restart the services, this state will go high, it will trigger an email, and that will cause concern for some people in your organization. A better point to consider is the FA activity point. This particular point is an analog input, so it transitions between 0, 1, and 2, and we can distinguish between the idle state, the starting state, and when automation is actually in progress. We can use this point and an automation function to create a new binary point to create an email that will only send out that email notification when we have an actual event. So to start, the first thing we're going to do is open our Yukon Feeder Automation Manager, and then I'm going to open up the mixed mode communication SMP. I'm using mixed mode so I can do testing in this non-production application. You can do the same thing in the regular communication for your production system. We'll open up SMP, and the first thing we need to do is come underneath System and go to Automation Functions, and we need to create an automation function. I'm going to call this automation function FA State 2 because that's what we're going to be looking for. We're going to look for the activity point in State 2. Now we're going to come into General, and I'm going to have a device prefix I need to set, so I'm going to set this to FA underscore. Now I can come down to my binary input points. I need to create a new logical point. I'm going to call this point activity state. And here it's really nice to put a description in because this description will show up in our email that gets sent out. So I'm going to put in a description: the automation system has detected an event. So now we have our activity state, we have a description for it. Next thing we have to do is tell it, well, when does this do something? So we're going to come into functions, and I'm going to come down to logical processor, and I'm going to right click, go to logic editor, and now we need to look for that point. Well, I showed it to you before, and we need to put it in quotation marks, but it's FA underscore activity. And we're going to set this equal to 2. Alright, so that's for our FA activity state. It goes high when an FA activity is equal to 2. We need to give this a name, and I'm going to call this FA activity equals 2. And we're going to hit save. You're going to get a warning message here, and do you want to modify the expression? We're going to answer no. It just doesn't know about the FA activity point yet, so it has to find that within the database, which is okay. Then we're going to close this, and we're going to hit save. Do you want to save? Yes. And that's okay. We have one warning here at the bottom. And now we're going to close down the SMP config, and I'm going to restart our YFA system. This can take a little bit of time, so we're going to speed it up. We now need to open up the Explorer program. And in the Explorer, we need to go to Site, Edit Site Configuration. We need to update. And we should see our new point right there, FA underscore activity state. And we'll hit update and bring that point into our system. We also need to now go into binary inputs and find that point because we need to process that as a generic event. So I'm going to look through the list real quick. Here it is. And right here where it says event, it says none. We need to make that a generic event. Once I have that done, I can come to site and do an update server site configuration. This will update all the information on the Visual T&D server. Now that that's complete, we can go and set up our final event notification. There's another YFA Pro Tip video on how to set up an email server and events in general. I'm not going to go through all that again, so I suggest you go look at that particular event, but we'll do it for this specific event, and hopefully you can watch that other pro tip video and get some tips there. But we're going to go underneath Tools here, and then we're going to come down to Event Notifications. We're going to add in a new event. We're going to do a process-related event, generic. Click Next. And now we have to find our data points. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to type in FA_active, and here's our new point, FA activity state. We're going to add that activity state. Click Next. We want to look for the appearance of this point. I'm going to say the YFA system is now active. We're going to click Next, and the name of this is YFA system active. That's going to be the name of our function. We're going to click Finished, and now I'm going to associate it with my email address. I'm going to click Close. Now we just need to test out the point. I'm going to close down Visual TD Explorer, and I'm going to go into the diagram, and let's do an event and see if we get a notification for it. So we're going to click on this zone. I'm going to do a sustain fault, and we expect the YFA system to recognize the event, open and isolate around the faulted area, and then close back in. In a little bit, we expect an email to come into my email system. It has now arrived. I'm going to bring up that, and it's here. It says the YFA system is now active, and here's that description we put in before. The automation system has detected an event. I hope you enjoyed this pro tip video. Just wanted to show you how you can get your YFA system to generate an email based upon the automation system going active but not going on a restart. Look forward to more YFA pro tips in the near future. Thank you.